What's good with y'all boys? And we back with the One Piece video today, bro. And you could tell by that Highland and the Thunder, bro. We finna have a little interesting discussion videos for y'all boys today. Y'all know it's break week, so we gotta have some content coming out until the next few chapters to hold us out throughout this week, bro. You know, usually we just do the discussion video, then the prediction video or something like that. But no, we finna be talking about today. Did that boy Shanks really beat Loki? Now, of course, this is going to contain multiple things because we can't just scale the fight straight up because y'all know in One Piece there's a lot of factors that goes to a lot of things. Just because we're told something doesn't necessarily mean to play out exactly how we thought, right? So let's just explore all the different aspects and possibilities of Loki versus Shanks in this video. Now, I'm going to just start by saying straight up off the muscle so niggas can know where I stand. I don't think Shanks beat this nigga in a straight up 1v1. I don't. As of what I've seen so far from both characters, there is no way in hell how is Shanks beating this nigga one-on-one. Let me just get that started off there. And this is now, I don't think Shanks is weak or anything like that. But let's just get into the logistics and break this shit down, right? Now, from a power scaling level, it is very possible for Shanks to beat Loki. For one, because we've known Shanks to be getting this glaze throughout the whole story. And we just know Shanks is one of them boys. Kaido was glazing him. He gets glazed by a lot of people throughout the whole verse, right? But the one thing that's really shaking me back by this shit is, now, for one, we do know Oda's kind of inconsistent when it comes to size and shit like that. But bro, this shit is just ridiculous. If we're on Elbaf and the giants are literally on Luffy's stomach and Luffy has made himself giant to where the giants can land on him, right? So just think about this. Luffy is in giant form currently on Loki's back at the end of the most recent chapter. This is giant form Luffy, the one who grabbed Kaido and jump roped him. So just think about how small that giant Luffy made Kaido look. Now let's think about that Luffy riding on another giant's back to the point where Luffy looks small. Like, he doesn't just look small. He looks like he's regular sized. Like he's regular Luffy. Like he didn't even go giant mode. That is ridiculous, nigga. How does Shanks, a regular ass nigga, no transformation, no nothing, pulling this off? How? That nigga, Loki is island level, nigga. He's making Elbaf shake, and Elbaf ain't even a regular sized island. Elbaf is a giant island. So it's like 10 times bigger than a regular island, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the actual fuck does Shanks beat this nigga. Now let's just think about the timeline here, right? Now if I'm wrong about anything in the timeline, let me know, because I'm not the most perfect One Piece expert, you know what I'm saying? Y'all getting nigga One Piece yaps, you know what I'm saying? Real nigga One Piece yaps. I try to have my shit lined up, but if I don't, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Now we know after Harold took out, after Loki took out Harold, Shanks and Gaban were there. Loki told them he gonna take the blame for this and don't tell anybody in the village what happened. We could assume after that Loki would want to go after the government or would set out to sea to do something, but we assume that thing would be to go out to the government, which is what everyone is saying. But one thing I'm not seeing niggas talk about is Lola. We still don't know what happened with Lola. Now you might be thinking, what does it have to do with anything? Let's just think for a second. That's the one thing in Loki's character that we really don't know shit about yet, except the fact that Lola turned him down. Now, after seeing Loki's backstory and Harold's backstory, I've come to the conclusion that ultimately that might have been what set Loki over the edge. Now, to walk with me for a second, I could be wrong or I could be very right. I could just be early, you know what I'm saying? Now, we know in Harold's flashback, he was like an asshole or whatever at first, and Ida turned him around to be more so of the man we knew him to be throughout the flashback and towards the end before his death. More so of a civil man who was for his country and all that shit, and not just a nigga who trying to walk over people and feel like he was strong and could do whatever just because he's a giant. Loki is necessarily like that, but I could see in his flashback him trying to let that Harold shit go and him trying to just live normal and do normal things and not really have this vengeful feeling for the government and terrorizing people on the seas. But then the moment Lola rejected him, that shit probably snapped him, my nigga, and he was like, fuck this, bro, I'm finna go on a rampage. That could be one thing to lead to how him and Shanks fought, because I just don't see, okay, Shanks seeing what happened to Loki. So for him to capture him, it doesn't really make sense to me. It's not really making sense because we know Loki's not a bad guy. So it's just odd. It's very odd at the moment. There are a lot of things we're missing here. Now, one could say Shanks just told Loki to sit his ass down, not to attack the government right now, and Loki wasn't trying to listen, so Loki went on a rampage and Shanks had to put his ass down. Now, that could have happened, but I just don't see the scenario of him beating Loki in a 1v1. I could see them having a conversation about the shit, And Loki's like, yeah. But even then, when it comes to a conversation, bro, Loki's not gonna agree to just sit there and be enchained and in prison like this. And he called Shanks a coward and a pussy, like Shanks did something to him. So I could definitely see it was a scenario where Shanks was telling Loki to wait, don't this with the government, to either not be so hasty or just warning him about the government as a whole. Because y'all know Loki, he a real nigga, bro. He not trying to hear all that. He trying to go in there and fuck some shit up. That's what he feel like doing. So Shanks was probably telling him some shit like that, and Loki wasn't going for it. But I just genuinely cannot see Shanks beating Loki. I'm trying to visualize it in my mind and I literally can't see it. Even if he's jumping this nigga with his crew, I still can't see it. Now, if Oda wants to say he jumped this nigga with the crew and they snuck this nigga, alright, bro, whatever. I guess that's just what happened. But even then, I still can't envision that right now. So, we're going to go down the path of some other things happening, right? Now, I've heard a theory going around that maybe Shanks put sea stone cuffs on this nigga, and that's how he won, because Loki couldn't even access his dragon form. That would make some of the most sense of all time, because for one, we know Shanks, confirmed now, was in the Holy Land at some point. Granted, we know he left, but that doesn't mean he couldn't have obtained information on where to get sea stone around that time, or have just obtained some and kept it on him, or where his whereabouts were at that time. You know, you need to know what the fuck I'm trying to say here, right? So that's very possible as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, because it doesn't really seem like we have any instance of Loki using this fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, we don't really. Gabon just says that Loki captured Shanks, that Shanks captured Loki. That could mean a whole lot of shit. And do all the propaganda we've been getting in this arc about Loki in general, just Loki. Let's just focus on just Loki. Everything we've told about Loki so far, from what we've known, has damn near been a lie or flipped in some sort of way, right? And in One Piece in general, Oda is very good at doing that. So and then just with the whole drawing it on panel shit, once again, visualizing it, I can't see that shit. What type of hockey would Shanks have to beat Loki? Now, granted, we haven't seen any crazy hockey, quote unquote, feats from Loki, but come on, bro, we're gonna assume here that he has conquerors. He's the only person to take out an abyssal contract, nigga. I don't even know if it was abyssal contract. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the Emu contract. He's the only person to kill a person contracted by Emu, bro. He's the only nigga to do that. And he did this with a freshly acquired devil fruit and hammer. This is freshly acquired. This isn't even him having the ability for years like how he has it now. Or I wouldn't even say years. He's had it for some time by the time him and Shanks has fought, is what I'm saying. Also, if you make this far in the video, bro, I want to hear your comment below. How do you think Shanks won? If you think Shanks won, if he just talked Loki out of it. Or, I ain't gonna lie, bro, now that I think about it, I just came up with this on the spot. Maybe Shanks orchestrated something, or maybe there was something with the whole Lola shit, and Shanks used that to his advantage to set Loki up and capture him. Now that I'm thinking about it, that could make the most sense, because from what we know in the story, it seems Loki was only vulnerable to Lola, from what we know, because he tried to marry her, right? And Lola said no. We could assume that after this, Shanks used that to his advantage to just get this nigga up out of there. Because from, like I said earlier, it seems like Loki shit is going to be a mixture and a play on what Harold went through, bro. I'm going to assume, like, how the way Harold, how that shit changed him, Loki was trying to change as he was loving Lola, but her rejecting him just sent this nigga over the edge, like I said earlier in the video. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Shanks could orchestrate that to capture Loki, since that's Big Mom's daughter, but I'm just going off the fact that since Elbaf seems to be Shanks' territory, or is Shanks' territory, he might have insight on what Big Mom is trying to do with the arranged marriage, so maybe he can get in and do. Y'all never know what Oda can do, bro. There's still lots of things, not lots of things, but there are still things about Shanks' backstory that we've yet to see as well. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Loki. So that's why I really wanted to make this video, bro, just because I know that's been a big course discussion after this most recent chapter, is who would win, Shanks or Loki, or did Shanks actually beat Loki? Like I said, I'm under the mindset personally, until we see more of my nigga, I don't think Shanks beat this shit. No matter what happened, whether he talked him out of it, he set him up, he snuck him, I don't know what it was, but he didn't beat this. And if he did, I'll make a video thoroughly apologizing to this nigga. I promise if Shanks beat this, you'll get your own apology video, my nigga. But up until now, as of right now, as of 1174, You ain't beat Loki, bro. You damn sure ain't do it by yourself if you quote unquote did beat him. I ain't got no bullshit. In the comment section below, let me know y'all stance on this take and this topic. This has been like running rampant ever since this chapter came out. This and the whole Loki just being stronger than Kaido shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'll touch on that real quick too. If you genuinely have seen this nigga Loki after killing Herald, after being one of the biggest giants ever and one of the biggest zone forms ever, mind you, it's probably a mythical zone. Mind you, Loki's also has the hammer, which has a devil fruit in the nigga, which is also probably a mythical zone. The only nigga in the series to have more likely conquerors and 2 fruits other than Blackbeard, and niggas is claiming he don't be Kaido. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But let's just deadass break that down. Think about what I just said. I haven't even thought about it yet, what I just said to y'all niggas. Think about what I just said, though. Mythical zone fruit. His hammer possibly has a mythical zone as well. And he's an ancient, pure-blooded giant. And he more than likely has conquerors. How the fuck? How the fuck is anybody supposed to be beat? How is Shanks, the nigga with no devil fruit, no nothing, just straight up hockey man, stronger than this? How, bro? How? Like I said, anybody in the comment section, let me know. Like I said, if I'm wrong, Shanks gets an apology video, bro. But y'all know, right? Since if this is Shanks, if Shanks did beat him, it's me all cup scale, bro. But anyways, bro, I hope y'all boys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Loki is that nigga currently right now. Only bad thing about Loki being this strong is, like I said in my last video, is I don't think he's gonna join the crew now because of that shit, because he's just too fucking busted, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get to see Shanks versus Loki soon. I honestly doubt it, right? I feel like if I had to take an estimate on when we would get Shanks versus Loki, bro, I'd assume it's gonna be at the end of this arc. After the whole emu shit's going on and all this shit, towards the end of this arc, I could see us getting it revealed with the whole what happened with Loki and Lola shit, the whole Shanks versus Loki quote unquote shit, how he ended up really getting captured and all that shit. So yeah. And then another thing, bro, that makes me think Shanks didn't really fight this nigga. We haven't seen Emu say anything yet, but forget Emu. Y'all rule says at the end of the chapter, like, that an Elbaf dragon, right, has been seen, like, he's prophesizing about the dragon being seen with a colossal creature, or a colossal creature being seen with Nika, and the colossal creature, which is Loki. If Shanks fought this nigga, and we're presuming he fought him on Elbaf, because where else would they have been fighting it unless they just fought randomly on the sea or some shit, and Shanks brought that nigga back to Elbaf, which I highly fucking doubt. But let's just say they fought on Elbaf. Y'all see what Loki doing to Elbaf now when he fighting on it? He ain't even fought for it. He just flying around this bitch. He fucking the island up. This would have been remembered by someone else. Now, Yarrow would have said something about this part, but granted, it's not like Yarrow doesn't know. Does Yarrow know what Loki's fruit is? That's a good question. I was finna say, if Shanks did fight Loki, Yarrow would have just been like, oh yeah, that's Loki pulling it right there. He wouldn't have started talking about no prophecy. Maybe he's saying that because he sees Luffy though? I'm not really sure. I can't remember if Yarrow was in the room when that shit happened, bro. I know he was there because Loki told him afterward, but like while the fight was going on and he got his fruit, I can't remember if Yarrow was like knocked out or something, bro. I deadass don't know. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I just don't feel like Shanks actually fought this nigga, because Elbaf wouldn't really still be intact like how it is, bro, and Loki would have a worse reputation on his name. Or maybe that's why a lot of people just don't like him, because he was trying to fuck shit up when Shanks was trying to put his ass down, bro. Maybe that's really what it is. Maybe Shanks did just win, and that's why the island has this such disdain towards him even after the Herald shit. Because honestly, bro, it doesn't really seem like there's a reason for people to hate Loki so much, because they forgave him killing Herald so quick. Granted, we are in the middle of battle right now, so I don't really know, but I don't know. It just seems like if all he did was kill the king and his mom cursed him to be, let him out to be on top of demon, cursed child or something, that's really why we hate him so much. Maybe it has to be because he was fucking the island up and Shanks just put him down for it, bro. And he was going to end up destroying Elbaf. Because, I mean, clearly he thinks he's a destroyer. So maybe that's what happened also, bro. You know what I'm saying? Personally, y'all know where I stand. But I got to play both sides. You know what I'm saying? I got to play devil's advocate for both sides. You can't be biased. Even though I might have my own One Piece agenda or One Piece stock in certain characters, you can't be biased, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't here for no bias shit. We here for real nigga shit. But, hey, man, another little video for y'all. Love y'all, boys. I'm recording this video on Sunday night. I'll probably have this shit out Monday. I'll probably have this shit out tomorrow on Monday. Yeah. If I don't have this out on Monday, then I'll definitely drop it on Tuesday, bro. Love y'all niggas, and I'm out, bro. Peace.